of assaulting him and forcing him to have sex with prostitutes.
It's very scary for myself, and it has me worried about my kids.
The accusations involving Lucian Grange, CEO of Universal Music, and other high-profile individuals in the entertainment industry, brought to light by Kanye West and Rodney Lil Rod Jones, are shedding light on some troubling dynamics behind the scenes. These allegations point to a potential network of exploitation, manipulation, and unethical practices within the industry. Both Kanye and Lil Rod have suggested that there's much more going on than the public realizes, with Grange, a major figure in the music world, possibly being involved in activities that have raised red flags. These activities aren't limited to business dealings, but extend to issues of coercion, exploitation, and potentially illegal practices, including some deeply concerning incidents allegedly tied to Diddy's infamous private gatherings. Kanye West has long been a controversial figure, but his recent comments have reignited discussions about the darker side of the music business. In his interview on the Drink Champs podcast, Kanye alluded to Lucian Grange's involvement in questionable activities, particularly noting his connections to artists like Drake and some mysterious dealings in Africa. Kanye has always been vocal about the power dynamics in the music industry, but this time, his claims have people wondering if there's more to Grange's role than just being the head of Universal Music. Kanye's comments about Grange's control over the industry, as well as his influence on artists' careers, hint at a larger scheme, possibly involving financial manipulation and power plays that extend far beyond the public eye. On the legal front, Rodney Lil Rod Jones has filed a lawsuit that implicates Grange and Sean Diddy Combs in activities that raise serious questions about how power is wielded within the industry. The lawsuit has garnered attention because it not only names these two influential figures, but also references disturbing incidents that allegedly took place at Diddy's private gatherings. These gatherings, long rumored to involve some of the most powerful individuals in entertainment, have been the subject of speculation for years. However, Lil Rod's claims suggest that these parties weren't just about networking or socializing. They may have involved coercion, exploitation, and other illicit activities that go far beyond the typical excesses of celebrity life. The fact that Lucian Grange's name has been linked to these allegations is particularly concerning. As the CEO of Universal Music, Grange holds an immense amount of power in the music industry, overseeing the careers of some of the biggest names in entertainment. His influence is vast, and if these accusations hold any truth, it raises serious questions about how deeply entrenched misconduct might be within the upper echelons of the music world. Lil Rod's lawsuit points to incidents that allegedly occurred at Diddy's gatherings, suggesting that Grange may have been complicit in or even facilitated some of these activities. One of the most disturbing elements of the lawsuit is the reference to covert surveillance, which implies that there might have been an organized effort to document or control individuals at these events. If true, this would indicate a level of planning and coercion that goes beyond isolated incidents of misconduct, potentially pointing to a systemic issue within the industry. The idea that powerful figures could be using surveillance to manipulate or coerce others into participating in illicit activities is chilling, and it underscores the need for greater transparency and accountability in an industry that has long operated in secrecy. Lucian Grange, the longtime CEO of Universal Music Group, finds himself under intense scrutiny following a lawsuit and explosive comments made by Kanye West, one of the music industry's most high-profile and influential figures. Grange's legal team has swiftly moved to deny any wrongdoing, insisting that he had no involvement in any illegal or unethical activities. Nonetheless, the mere emergence of these allegations has already begun to tarnish his previously stellar reputation. For someone whose career has been built on carefully navigating the complex world of music management, particularly by working with some of the most successful artists in history, being associated with accusations of exploitation and coercion poses a significant threat to his standing within the industry. While the specifics of the lawsuit remain to be fully unpacked, its very existence suggests that there are deeper, systemic issues at play. Allegations of exploitation in the music industry are not new, and Grange's name being linked to such claims underscores the ongoing and pervasive nature of these problems. Even if Grange himself is ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing, the damage to his public image has already begun. The court of public opinion is often swift and unforgiving, and being tied to any accusations of exploitation, especially in an era where social justice and the fair treatment of artists are increasingly in focus, can have long-term consequences for one's legacy. At the center of this controversy is Kanye West, whose comments about Grange and the broader music industry have reignited long-standing debates about the treatment of Black artists within major record labels. Kanye's outspoken nature and his history of challenging the status quo have made him a polarizing figure, but his critiques are resonating with many in the industry. West has often framed his own battles with record labels as emblematic of larger issues, particularly when it comes to how Black talent is treated by the predominantly white executives who run the major music conglomerates. The exploitation of Black artists has been a topic of debate for decades, with numerous high-profile figures within the industry voicing their concerns. Many argue that the music industry, which has long profited immensely from Black culture and creativity, offers little in return to the very artists it depends on. Contracts are often skewed in favor of the record labels, leaving artists, particularly young, up-and-coming performers, at a disadvantage when it comes to financial compensation and ownership of their work. This dynamic is especially troubling given that many of these artists come from marginalized communities and are often not equipped with the resources or legal knowledge to fully understand the terms of their agreements. For years, critics have pointed to these practices as predatory, with record labels essentially locking artists into long-term contracts that strip them of control over their music, branding, and financial futures. In many cases, the profits from an artist's success are overwhelmingly funneled back to the label, while the artists themselves may see only a fraction of the earnings. Furthermore, the lack of transparency in royalty payments, as well as the complexities of contract clauses around ownership and intellectual property rights, can make it difficult for artists to advocate for fair compensation. Kanye West has been vocal about these issues, both in his personal battles with record labels and in his broader critiques of the music industry. He has often described the current system as exploitative, calling for more ownership and control for artists, particularly those who have been historically marginalized. His comments about Grange, in particular, bring this issue into sharper focus, as Grange has long been seen as one of the most powerful and successful figures in the music world. West's accusations, though lacking specific details in many cases, speak to a broader dissatisfaction with the industry's power dynamics. In the wake of West's comments, many have begun to reassess the role that industry leaders like Grange play in perpetuating these inequities. While Grange may not have personally engaged in exploitative practices, the fact that he sits at the helm of one of the largest record labels in the world means that he is inevitably associated with the industry's broader practices. Whether fairly or not, Grange and other executives like him are seen as complicit in a system that has disproportionately benefited from Black talent while offering relatively little in return. The conversations sparked by West's remarks are not just about Grange, but about the entire structure of the music industry. The rise of streaming services, social media, and other technological innovations has shifted the balance of power somewhat, giving artists more tools to control their careers. However, the old guard of the industry, represented by figures like Grange, still wields immense influence over the most lucrative.
Stop measuring your blood glucose the old way. Try this latest 2024 model of our blood glucose, blood pressure.
Deals and the most successful artists. As a result, calls for reform within the music industry have only grown louder in recent years, with artists advocating for more equitable contracts, better transparency in royalty payments, and greater ownership of their music. Grange's legal troubles and Kanye's critiques come at a time when the music industry is undergoing significant changes, and the relationship between artists and labels is being reevaluated. With independent artists finding success through platforms like SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and even TikTok, the traditional gatekeepers of the industry, such as major record labels, are being forced to adapt. However, the legacy of exploitation still looms large, and for many, the current system remains inherently skewed in favor of those in power. Kanye West's remarks have thrust these issues back into the spotlight, and while the specifics of his comments about grunge may not lead to immediate change, they have certainly added fuel to an already heated debate. Grange, for his part, has yet to directly address the broader concerns about the music industry's treatment of Black artists. His legal team remains focused on denying any personal involvement in the accusations being levied against him, but the impact on his reputation is undeniable. Ultimately, the situation involving Grange, West, and the broader issues within the music industry highlights the need for greater accountability and transparency. The ongoing exploitation of artists, particularly those from marginalized communities, cannot be ignored. If figures like Grange are to maintain their influence and credibility in the evolving music landscape, they will need to address these systemic issues head-on, rather than simply denying their involvement. As the conversation continues, the music industry may be forced to reckon with its history of exploitation in ways that it has long avoided. Figures like Lyor Cohen and Dame Dash have also spoken out about the systemic problems within the industry, particularly when it comes to how artists are treated. Cohen, who has been both praised and criticized for his role in the industry, has acknowledged that the business model of the music industry can be exploitative, especially for artists who don't have the resources or knowledge to negotiate better deals. Dame Dash, a longtime critic of the music industry's power dynamics, has repeatedly called out executives for profiting off of artists' hard work while giving them little in return. This conversation has only intensified with Kanye's recent allegations, as people start to question how much control figures like Grange and Diddy really have over the careers and lives of the artists they work with. Another dark theory that has circulated in recent years is the idea that record labels may be profiting from the deaths of their artists. Some have speculated that labels take out life insurance policies on their artists, essentially betting on their untimely deaths to generate profit. This theory, while unproven, has gained traction among those who are skeptical of the industry's motives. Comedian Cat Williams has even suggested that some deaths in the music industry might not be accidental, implying that there could be more sinister forces at play. While these claims are difficult to verify, they reflect a growing mistrust of the music industry and the lengths that some believe executives will go to protect their financial interests. The connection between these allegations and the deaths of rappers is particularly striking. Since 1987, more than 90 rappers have been killed, many in their own hometowns. This statistic highlights the dangers that artists, particularly those in the hip-hop community, face. The life expectancy of rappers is alarmingly low, and many have pointed to the role that the industry plays in fostering environments where violence and tragedy are all too common. Lyor Cohen's remarks at DMX's memorial service, in which he downplayed the significance of DMX's struggles with addiction, sparked outrage and further fueled the conversation about how the industry treats its artists, especially when they are struggling with personal issues. Lil Rod's lawsuit also touches on another long-standing rumor in the industry, that Diddy's success was built on unethical practices, including leveraging his relationships with other powerful figures to advance his career. There have been claims that Diddy's rise to fame was aided by his connections to Clive Davis, with some suggesting that Diddy helped Davis get Bad Boy Entertainment off the ground. Now, with Lucian Grange's name being tied to these allegations, it raises even more questions about the nature of the relationships between these powerful men and how they have maintained their influence in the industry for so long. Kanye West has also added fuel to the fire by discussing Grange's role in managing Drake's career. Kanye suggested that Grange's influence over Drake goes beyond typical artist management, hinting at deeper financial motives and power plays. The fact that Drake, one of the most successful and influential artists of the past decade, is being mentioned in the same breath as these allegations raises serious concerns about how much control Grange and others may have over the careers of top artists. Kanye also hinted at Kim Kardashian's rumored connections to Diddy's infamous parties, which has only added more intrigue to the situation. Kanye's comments about unfollowing Diddy on social media just before a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties have also sparked speculation. While social media actions are often dismissed as trivial, in this case, Kanye's timing has led some to wonder if he knew something the public didn't. The raid itself suggests that there is much more going on behind the scenes than just celebrity misconduct. Homeland Security's involvement points to a potential criminal investigation, which could have far-reaching implications for everyone involved. This brings us to the Kardashians, who have long been masters of managing their public image. Kim Kardashian, in particular, has been linked to some of the same figures being discussed in these allegations. And her connection to Diddy has led to questions about how much she and her family might know about these alleged activities. The Kardashians have built an empire on their ability to control the narrative around their lives. But with these allegations coming to light, they may face new challenges in protecting their brand. Kim's decision to unfollow Diddy on Instagram just before the raid has been seen by some as a calculated move to distance herself from the controversy. Lou Taylor, the business manager at the center of the Britney Spears conservatorship controversy, has also been implicated in these broader discussions about exploitation in the entertainment industry. Taylor, who has worked with the Kardashian, Jenner family, and other high-profile clients, has been accused of prioritizing her financial interests over the well-being of her clients. Her role in managing Britney Spears' conservatorship has been widely criticized, with many accusing her of being part of a system that took advantage of Spears for financial gain.
I ordered a 3-month survival kit, and here's why it came in the most boring packaging ever.
Now, with her connections to Diddy and Grange being scrutinized, Taylor's influence in the industry is under the microscope. Courtney Love, a longtime critic of the music industry's treatment of artists, has also spoken out about Lou Taylor and the broader issue of control within the entertainment business. Love, who has faced her own battles with industry power players, has been vocal about the need for artists to have more control over their careers and finances. Her experiences echo the concerns raised by Lil Rod, Kanye, and others who feel that the industry is structured in a way that benefits the few at the expense of the many. As these allegations continue to unfold, the public is becoming more aware of the systemic issues that plague the entertainment industry. For years, the music and entertainment sectors have been shrouded in secrecy, with powerful individuals operating behind closed doors, making decisions that affect the careers and lives of countless artists. These latest accusations against Lucian Grange, Diddy, and others have only pulled back the curtain further, revealing a darker side of the industry that many have long suspected but few have been able to expose. The need for greater transparency and accountability within this business has never been more apparent, and there are growing calls for reform from both industry insiders and the public alike. The recent allegations have brought long-standing concerns about the treatment of artists, particularly young and marginalized performers, to the forefront of the conversation. For too long, these artists have been at the mercy of powerful executives and managers who control their careers, finances, and even their personal lives. The exploitation that occurs in these dynamics has often gone unchecked, and the lack of oversight has allowed unethical practices to continue behind the scenes. Whether or not the lawsuits against Lucian Grange, Diddy, and others result in significant legal consequences, they have already succeeded in drawing attention to the broader problems within the music business. The public is increasingly demanding change, and it remains to be seen whether the industry's most powerful figures will be held accountable for their actions. Kanye West has positioned himself as a central figure in these revelations, hinting at even more explosive information to come. His outspoken nature and willingness to air grievances in public have made him a polarizing figure, but they have also given him a platform to shine a light on issues that might otherwise go unnoticed. Kanye's upcoming revelations about the Kardashians, Diddy, and other industry insiders have the potential to shake up the entertainment world even further. However, without concrete evidence to support these claims, they remain speculative for now. Nevertheless, Kanye's influence and the weight of his words mean that these allegations cannot be dismissed outright. The public is watching closely to see what he reveals next, and the potential implications for those involved are enormous. The Kardashians, ever the savvy business people, are likely preparing for any potential fallout from these allegations. Their ability to control the narrative around their personal lives and their brand has been a cornerstone of their success, and it's likely that they are already taking steps to protect themselves from any damage these accusations might cause. With their vast resources and media influence, the Kardashians are no strangers to navigating scandals. But this situation could prove to be more challenging, especially given the serious nature of the allegations and the potential involvement of federal authorities. Kim Kardashian, in particular, has been tied to some of the same figures being mentioned in these accusations, and her actions, such as unfollowing Diddy on Instagram, have been interpreted by some as an attempt to distance herself from the controversy. The involvement of Homeland Security and other federal agencies in this situation suggests that the issues at hand go far beyond the typical celebrity gossip and scandal. This is no longer just a matter of reputational damage or tabloid fodder. It's a reflection of deeper, more systemic problems within the industry that need to be addressed. When federal authorities become involved, it indicates that there may be criminal behavior or serious misconduct at play, which could have significant legal consequences for those implicated. The fact that these allegations are being taken seriously at such a high level underscores the gravity of the situation and suggests that there could be more revelations to come as investigations continue. At the heart of these accusations is a call for greater accountability and ethical reform within the entertainment industry. For too long, the industry has operated with minimal oversight, allowing powerful individuals to take advantage of their positions and exploit vulnerable artists. The opaque nature of industry contracts, the lack of transparency in business dealings, and the alleged involvement in illicit activities all point to a need for significant changes in how the industry operates. The public is increasingly demanding that these issues be addressed, and there is growing pressure on industry leaders to take meaningful action. This moment could serve as a turning point for the entertainment industry, much like the Me Too movement did for Hollywood. Just as that movement exposed the widespread sexual harassment and abuse that had long been tolerated in the film industry, these latest revelations about the music business could spark a broader reckoning about how artists are treated and how power is wielded behind the scenes. If the allegations against Grange, Diddy, and others are proven true, it could lead to a wave of legal action, policy changes, and industry reforms aimed at protecting artists and ensuring that those in positions of power are held accountable for their actions. However, as with any major controversy, it's important to approach these allegations with caution. While the accusations being made are serious and deserve to be investigated thoroughly, it's equally important to avoid jumping to conclusions before all the facts are known. The entertainment industry is complex, and the relationships between its players are often fraught with tension, competition, and personal grievances. As more information comes to light, it will be crucial to distinguish between legitimate accusations backed by evidence and speculative claims that may not hold up under scrutiny. The Kardashians, Kanye West, Diddy, Lucian Grange, and others implicated in these revelations will likely continue to dominate the headlines in the coming months as the situation unfolds. The public's fascination with celebrity culture ensures that this story will remain in the spotlight, but it also serves as a reminder that the entertainment industry is not immune to the same issues of corruption, exploitation, and abuse of power that affect other sectors. The key question moving forward is whether this moment will lead to real lasting change, or if it will simply be another scandal that eventually fades away without addressing the root causes of the problem. In the meantime, the industry faces increasing pressure to clean up its act. Artists and fans alike are demanding more transparency in how contracts are negotiated, how royalties are distributed, and how much control labels and executives have over the creative and financial decisions of the artists they represent. The broader cultural shift toward greater accountability, particularly in industries that have long been shielded from public scrutiny, suggests that the days of unchecked power in the music business may be coming to an end. Ultimately, whether or not this leads to meaningful reform will depend on how the industry responds to these allegations. Will there be a concerted effort to address the systemic issues that have been exposed, or will the powerful figures at the center of this controversy find a way to weather the storm and continue business as usual? As the investigations into Lucian Grange, Diddy, and others continue, one thing is clear.